Hi, I'm John Dalbert from the Sir Bad Gem with you once again. Today we're going to talk very shortly on one topic of sales. It involves two things. One is features, one is benefits. They sound a lot alike, but they have two completely different functions in the world of sales. And this is what we're going to do, is give you an example of the difference. We're going to do more expanded information on features and benefits in an upcoming module. But today, this is just a short, brief explanation using two products. Now, you are going to have to use a little bit of your own imagination to put yourself into a retail application, much like a counter salesperson is with a customer at an auto parts store. And we're going to present two products. One, we're going to talk about the feature, one about the benefit. This is important because there's an awful lot of people in sales, especially if you're one of those people working counter sales that don't know the difference and are passing up a lot of potential income by knowing your products. That's one of the most important things you can do, is actually know your products. What I mean by that, it doesn't take a lot of time to go through your stock and just pick something off the shelf. Pick up two like items, so you have one brand of this and one brand of that, and actually read the label and become familiar with what's in it, what does it do, what does this one do that this one doesn't do. You have to know those things. The more you know your products and the benefits, the better salesperson you will be. Because when the customer comes in and talks to you about getting something, think of it as that's your patient. And your patient needs some medical information, and you're the doctor. And it's your job as the doctor to provide your patient with the best product using your best knowledge. The more you learn about your own products, whether it's medicine or what I'm going to show you, the better off you are, and the better off your patient is. So right now, let's go to the retail store, and it's going to be it can be an auto parts store, it can be a hardware store. It doesn't make any difference. Use your imagination. The products that I'm going to use are just stuff I pulled out of my toolbox in my truck. But this is all I need to give you an example. So you're going to have to use your imagination. Once again, this can work in nearly any type of a counter sales application. If you don't have to do auto sales, but it could be bakery, it could be stationery supplies. Computer people are really good at this because a good computer person in a good computer store knows every feature and every benefit of nearly every computer and all the software. They're good at this. So if you ever have a chance to go in and talk to somebody that sells a computer and sells the software, listen to what they say and how they present their products, because generally it's so technical, they have to know all the ins and outs, or they're not going to sell any computers or software. So take a hint from them and from this brief module today. So you just walked into the store, and what has happened, you came up to me, and it's a quiet day in the store, so I don't have 50 people lined up to sell products to or ring up their sales. This is a real dead period of time in the store, so we actually have time to talk. I have time to ask you a question and you a question, and you've given me some answers. In this case, you came up to me and you have two problems that you need solved. And I'm going to show you both ways that this works, and you'll see the difference. For one thing, you need a new serpentine belt for your truck. Year and model doesn't make any difference. You need a serpentine belt. Another thing you need is you're going to be doing some mechanical work where you need lubrication. And in this case, it's going to be grease. And when it comes to the grease, there's a couple places that are really, really hard to get. And it's not so easy that you can just, take a handful of grease out of the tub and slap it in there and done. These parts are really under and buried, and you can't get to them in a conventional sense. So you got to use a little bit of imagination, and this is where you as a salesperson, in knowing your product features and benefits, will benefit you. The first thing we're going to do is, you told me you need a serpentine belt. So what I've done is I went in the stock room, I looked up the numbers to make sure I got the right ones I should say, and I brought them out. Now I'm going to present them to you. Well, you told me you need a serpentine belt for your truck, and I brought two out. Here's one, and here's the other. I'm going to tell you about this one first. Not all serpentine belts are the same. I'm going to tell you why. I've asked you a couple of questions, and you told me that I asked you, what do you do with your truck? What use do you put it through? You told me you use it basically in the winter to go haul firewood. And throughout the hotter months, it pretty much sits empty, unused. You might use it to haul a water heater or something once in a while, but it's relatively light use. Now this serpentine belt is $24.95. It's made out of conventional rubber material, and it's got the ridges, and it's an all-duty, medium-duty, light-duty type belt. It's $24.95. Now this one over here, it has the same things, except it's not just a rubber serpentine belt. This one, all the way through, is run with nylon cording. And beside the nylon cording, the material that the belt is made of is built to withstand anti-stretching, so it won't stretch out and become loose and come off your alternator. Plus, it's got chemicals in there that stand up to heat. So if you use your truck in the summer, especially out here in the desert, where your engine temperature is almost near boiling, you can tell that by your coolant gauge, and the ambient temperature is 105 degrees on the day you're going to work. And the road temperature, you can cook eggs on the highways out here. That adds up to a lot of heat. But this belt, just the way it's made, is not going to crack. It's not going to split. And it holds up to heat very, very well. Now this one is $34.95. It's $10 more than this one. But in the long run, you would probably be better off to protect yourself against a broken serpentine belt in the desert and a tow belt by buying this one as opposed to this one. Would the extra $10 be of benefit to you? Okay, I thought so. I'll ring up this one for $34.95. You made a good decision. So that's what we did. We had two fan belts. One's just a low-grade fan belt. It'll do minimum work for you. It might snap and stuck you stranded out on one of the major roads or some back roads where a tow truck couldn't even find you. And if you're familiar with serpentine belts, they go all through a whole bunch of pulleys and wheels and stuff in the engine. Not an easy thing at all to put on by yourself. Chances are you're going to have a mechanic do it for you. But if you take the one for $10 more, it's still, the feature is still, it's a fan belt. But the benefit is to you in the way it's constructed, and in the length of service and type of service that it will provide you. You're the doctor. Your patient came to you and says, this is what I need. My truck is sick. Okay, well, we can give you the cheapest medicine we can give you, or we can give you a much better medicine for just a few dollars more. You chose, you made an intelligent decision, and you chose the one that cost you a few dollars more, but it's going to protect you and your truck a lot longer. So that's that. Okay, now we're going to go to the second product. The other one, like I said, was you got to do some greasing in your truck, and you just can't get your hand to where it's got to go to get grease to those things. So you've explained this to me. So I bring out a tub of grease, and let's say it's $4. It's a conventional tub of grease, nothing special. And at the same time, I brought out a can of spray grease. Now, spray grease, if you're not familiar with it, I can't do it here because it shoot a stream of grease. This is a conventional #2, all multi-purpose grease. It can be used for trucks, machinery, anything. Standard grease, except it's in a liquid form. You shake it up, get the ball rolling, and get the chemicals mixed up. Then when you push the button, a stream of grease shoots up. And it's very liquid where you want it to go. But as soon as the carrier dries off, you've got a high quality #2 grease in place, and you didn't break your arms trying to get it in there. So imagine you're trying to grease whatever you need to do. So here you've got to take a handful of grease, and you've got to reach way in there and under there, and you're trying desperately to get that point grease, but it's not working out real good, is it? What you could do is take the piece, if you can do it, reach this in to where it is. You know, you found the hole, and you can line it up and you fill the hole up with grease. Or take the part and just give the part a couple shots of grease. A whole lot easier and a lot less messier than take the part and put it into the fitting. The job, either way, has been taken care of. You've got what needs to be greased. But one is you dip your finger in there, it gets to be quite messy. The other one, you just pick up your can of grease, give it a shot, put it in place, and you're done. This one is $6. The other one is $3. Which would save you time and effort? This one for $6? Good decision. I think you did right. Let's ring this up for you. So that's the difference in presenting products. You have to know your product. You can't be ashamed or embarrassed to ask the person that's going to buy this from you, what are you going to use it for? Is it something you use every day, you put it hard at work every day, or is it something you just use once in a while? If you can get that information from them, you can help them make a better decision as to which product to buy. If they don't care and they want to buy the cheap one, that's fine. You have no control of that. But what you did is know your product and gave them an intelligent explanation of features. The fan belt, the benefit is this one won't break or stretch on you. And if you know that, you can make more money for yourself and for your company. And which is great if you work on commission. But if you don't, at the end of the month, the boss goes over the sales figures and finds that you're $500 ahead in sales over everybody else that's working at that counter. Who's going to look better in the boss's eyes? Who might get a raise over somebody else? Who might become a what do they call them, a counter supervisor or whatever else? You move up in the company. It all depends on you if you want to learn the features, the benefits, how to present something like that, and be able to ask your customers, what do you need? The more you tell me, the better I can help you. We're going to talk more about features and benefits in an upcoming module. But today was just a teaser, so take the information and try to apply it to your job. And when you go shopping for anything, automotive parts or whatever, see what kind of questions the person that's helping you, the clerk or the counter person, see what kind of questions, if any, that they ask you to help you do a better job. Some will, some don't care. They won't ask you anything except cash or charge. The questions you ask, the attitude that you take in front of a customer is the difference between a one-time customer and a long-time customer that wants to see you and have you help me. So that's it for today. Go have some coffee, absorb the information, and check back on the next module. Thank you for joining us today.